Now, there's someone here today who's been waging that righteous fight for a long time. The guy you guys came here to see. The oligarchs hate him. Oh, they really hate him. That tells you something. So I am proud to introduce a guy who doesn't need much of an introduction. Senator from Vermont, Bernie Sanders.
So Bernie goes on CNN and they show him a Trump clip saying that, you know, Bernie's crazy and my crowd sizes are at least twice as big as
My
his.
dick is so much bigger.
And then Bernie laughs and he's like, not that anybody's counting crowd sizes, but our crowd in Iowa was at least twice as big as his.
At least twice, brothers and sisters. Someone counted. It was twice.
And you know, when they say that Bernie's probably the best they have. By the way, he's about 7 years older than me, more, 8 years older. One thing I got to give him credit, he's a lunatic, but he's still pretty sharp. And he's going around with AOC +3, you know, the +3 follow him. They hang on for little bits. They hang on for nuggets. And they get crowds. They say, oh, our crowds are so much bigger than their crowds. Their crowds are small. If I ever had a crowd like their biggest crowd, they'd say it's over for Trump. He's lost the magic.
I think you're a little more than 4 years older than him.
Something.
If I'm
It didn't
right.
tell. I know it will shock the audience. The president did not tell the truth. All right, I realize that will shock everybody, but that's the case. And in terms of not that we want to get into crowd size, why would anyone want to do that? We had twice the turnout in Warren than he had the other night.
Not that anyone is counting, but I have the numbers, brothers and sisters.
And my dick is so much bigger. So much bigger, brothers and sisters. Everybody in Vermont has seen it.
It's a living dick, a living.
Everybody gets a share. It's a communist dick. It's not a tiny mushroom little penis like I have heard the president has.
I'm telling you, these countries are calling us up, kissing my ass. They are dying to make a deal. Please, sir, make a deal. I'll do anything. I'll do anything, sir.
And they come to me, George, and they're kissing my ass. And that's the great ass. I have to tell you, the greatest ass that humanity has ever seen, ever.
Senor Fujimori from Japan. He told me, Donald Sama. You have the finest ass. You have the finest ass, Donald Sama.
So round. It's perfect.
So stiff and shapely.
Poems are gonna be written about my butt for all time.
In fact, there's gonna be a 12-part series by Netflix. The greatest ass.
Leaking the sequel.
Leaking till your tongue goes numb.
Then you give it a little run.
A little kiss, smooch, smooch. 100 days. I wish for 100 more. My ass is so wet.
If you
They've been leaking it so strongly.
But I have to tell you, nobody kisses my ass better than I do.
Nobody and Hannibal Lecter, the great late. He's so great, so late. She licked my ass so well. I've deported him to El Salvador to the great President Bukele. We love ukulele.
I call him the Salvatore.
Il Salvadore.
And I think we're going to do much better than that this time, because this time I'm doing what I want to do.
So Luigi, should we
Let's do it. Let's do it.
dive right in? Dive right in. The first 100 days will be known in the history books, Luigi, as the second reign of terror. How would you rate it? Did you like my description? I came up with it 10 seconds ago.
Nice. I like it. I might have replaced it with a second dark age for humanity.
Wow. Big
we're
words, big words have been spoken, people, very early into the podcast, because how can we justify them, Luigi? Or are we
we can.
calling people fascists who are but mere socialists, Luigi?
And some, I assume, are good people.
The
Some.
best people.
The best. All right, so we're gonna be doing a recap of the Orange Man's 100 days in office, and what a 100 days it's been. So much shit has hit the fan that I don't.
Better than Obama's. Indisputably, Luigi. Indisputably.
Dude,
Sorry,
honestly,
yeah.
so many headlines have come out over the last 100 days that I don't know where to begin. Like doing a list, it's difficult to do an exhaustive list because the strategy from this administration, if there is a strategy, it's bombard the airwaves with shit. If you put so much shit out, people can't concentrate on any one thing. And you
But he's been firing on all cylinders, Luigi. All cylinders are full on blasting diarrhea, Luigi, in all and every direction, domestically, done. Foreign policy wise, he's changed the election in Canada. He's affected the election in Australia. He's done his trade thing. We're gonna call it. I mean, we've talked about this.
yeah.
It has been, I think, the single most ambitious trade shift shift in policy that has ever been attempted in humanity. How about that, Donny?
How is it working? It's the best. I'm the best. It's wonderful. It's gonna
Nobody
be
has done it
amazing.
before. I think anybody has done it before to such an extent, with such bombast and pure fucking incompetence. Sorry, Luigi.
For a man that was supposed to end the Ukraine war before he got into office,
Not so happening.
not only has he not done that, like we haven't ended any wars, and instead we started a trade war. So
We're
nice.
+1, as Luigi has so vividly elucidated. We're +1. We're +1 on the war angles.
Dude,
It hasn't worked out.
We're just winning, and we still haven't annexed Canada or Greenland. That's coming, right?
That's coming. That's coming in the next, I would say, 200 to 300 days. I'm going to give him a bit of a margin here,
Yeah. I mean,
because he's going fast, but this is a difficult task. This is a big one. It's a bigly one. Can I talk a little briefly about his stupid interview? I don't remember with whom he did it. He doesn't even know. When he was told about the guy he sent to El Salvador, the poor guy, who everybody keeps saying is not a criminal, but everybody in the administration insists is a criminal. And the Supreme Court has ruled that the administration must facilitate his return. We're at the stage of arguing what the fuck the word facilitate means, I think, right now. And he went on the interview, and the interviewer was like,
Those tattoos.
Oh, he had some tattoos that are interpreted that way. But let's move on.
Wait a minute. Hey, Terry.
He did not
Don't
have the
do that.
letter MS13.
It says MS13.
That was photoshopped. So let me
That
just.
was Photoshop. Terry, you
He
can't
had-
do that. Hey, they're giving you the big break of a lifetime. You know, you're doing the interview. I picked you because, frankly, I never heard of you, but that's okay.
I knew
But
this
I
would
picked
come.
you, Terry, but you're not being very nice.
what the fuck? What the fuck? Why are you saying this? Why didn't you just say yes? He had the
Just like-
MS-13 on his
Just agree.
knuckles.
Just agree with me. Why won't you just agree?
Why would you just agree? He had the Joker face, and his teeth were vipers, and behind him was Rhino from Spider-Man. They were bad people.
It turns out the guy, I mean, okay, he's 80 years old almost, but the guy can't spot a Photoshop picture
He
with,
doesn't even give a shit, Luigi. I
yeah,
believe he
I'm
does
sure.
not even give a shit. Tom, what the fuck, Tom? I picked you because you're a loser. Because nobody knows you.
On the subject of indiscriminate deportations, I think that he deported children that were US citizens that were born in the country, and one of those children had cancer.
Yes, he
I
did
mean,
that. And I mean,
what?
I think it's as the Holman said, the almost human Tom,
Yeah,
when he was
the
like,
border czar.
if
Yeah.
someone, if a parent who came illegally to the country, they want to deport him, and he has young children, they can deport those as well with them, so they won't be separating the families.
I mean, it's been what a shit show it's been, and we still haven't discussed the most important topic being the trade war, the stock market crash. We got numbers recently. The US economy contracted in the first quarter. Now, the definition of a recession is 2 quarters of a contraction. So if we get another negative print in the current quarter, which is looking increasingly likely, because guess what happens when you tell everyone, you don't really know what you're going to be paying for things in a few months from now. What generally tends to happen is that investment collapses. When that happens, usually your economy doesn't do that well. Now, this process takes time to play out, but it started, right? And the most the most bizarre thing for me is that prices are gonna rise because we are doing tariffs, right? So the Fed can't cut interest rates. He's out attacking the Fed chairman every day through tweets to cut interest rates. They can't do that because of his policies. You are looking increasingly at a situation that resembles stagflation, meaning no growth but high price increases.
The worst of all situations.
And this is Biden's economy. Like he has washed his hands of this mess that he almost unilaterally created.
He washes his hands as quickly as he takes credits for things.
I am for good things and against bad things.
The
Bad
consummate.
things were on Biden.
I mean,
Good things were on
everybody, I
me.
think it's a good point. Everybody keeps noting that this guy is a real guy or whatever. But beyond all that, I think he's also the consummate politician. He gives zero shit.
Yeah.
Zero
Yeah.
shit. Anything that doesn't work out, I was not I never saw it, never heard it, who this, fuck you.
Like
I'm the best.
180-degree turns in many subjects. Like you can
Oof.
go
He's
from
gonna
love,
humiliate himself with China. He's
yeah,
gonna humiliate himself with China. And the 180 degrees you mentioned just now, 100% he does it every time. Whenever he goes really hard on Zelensky, next day he's gonna say something slightly negative about Putin. He
yeah.
does it every time on everything. He zigzags on every topic, ends up on both sides twice every week.
Strategic uncertainty, George.
Strategic uncertainty. Let your nobody should know what you believe because you believe nothing.
If I don't know what I'm gonna do next, my enemies
Nobody
don't know
does.
either. Well, okay, so we haven't even mentioned the Signal Gate scandal that basically his top officials were
Ah,
caught like
yeah.
sharing classified information.
Yeah, the cancer as well. We lost the right-wing Buzz Lightyear. We lost him, Mike
Yeah,
Waltz,
yeah.
out of the administration after all. The
And
media won this one.
since we are going through this in some speed, perhaps the most striking thing from me, like from a big picture perspective, is that he controls Congress. Like he controls all of Congress, but he
Barely,
hasn't passed
though. Yeah,
barely, that's
barely.
true, but he
Uh,
hasn't passed
anything.
one major piece of legislation, not even his precious tax cuts. And if you don't do that early in your term,
It's
when
not
your
happening.
majority is, yeah, it
It's
gets
not
more
happening.
difficult. It
Before
becomes
the midterms, if it doesn't happen before the midterms, it's not happening.
for sure, but I mean, we've got another 1.5 years until the
Yes,
midterms.
yes,
So look,
yes.
is it happening? Yeah, but it gets more difficult as time passes. So this is
I'm
Biden's
gonna
economy.
bet.
Yeah.
I mean, if he keeps going on with the tariffs, he's gonna ruin everything. He's not even gonna be able to pass the tax cuts because it's just gonna be mayhem. But I mean, he's already pulling back on China because he has to, because you can't tariff. I don't know, is it their second or third biggest trading partner? You can't do that.
Oh,
From
yes,
one day to the next.
their
Their
biggest
biggest
trading
trading
partner by
partner.
far.
Exactly. You gotta do it at the least in a staggered way. We've talked about this a lot,
Yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
it's gonna hit the economy really hard in an already inflationary environment. It's not gonna work out. He's gonna have to draw to pull back. To what extent we'll have to see.
The way they've done tariffs is so fucking stupid,
Oh
seriously. Because
yes,
the way you should do it, if you are gonna do a trade war, the way you should do it is increase is over time phase in your tariffs, right? So that gives businesses some incentive to sort of try to front run them. If you do it the opposite way, if you say we're taking tariffs 150% and then we're gonna bring them down slowly, you give businesses an incentive to just wait and do nothing, not invest, not hire, not import, just sit tight. When that happens collectively, investment collapses, you get a crisis. This is, if I've ever seen a policy mistake, like a policy mistake that can generate a recession, this is it.
yeah,
We're
of
about to
course.
find out in real time. And they haven't done anything to offset this. That's what gets me, right? Because let's say you're going to launch a trade war. You have the benefit of timing, right? You started it. So you can prepare for it. You can offset some of the pain on your own consumers, on your own businesses. They haven't done a single thing. And why do a trade war with the entire world? I mean, it's China you are really after. Go after China. Why is it US versus the planet?
Because they're idiots.
That is the only conclusion you can reach increasingly. So
You gotta be, so megalomaniacal to think that you can do it on your own against the whole fucking planet. And as
yeah,
powerful as the United States is, they can't do it.
I mean, certainly not simultaneously,
Yeah,
right?
well, this is the stupidest plan conceived by man ever. Wreck all your alliances, piss off everybody at the same time, to the degree that conservatives are not being fucking getting elected in other countries, because that's how bad you fucking annoyed everybody.
Yeah.
And then what?
Well,
We're not ever gonna go on holidays anywhere else on the planet. Is that the plan? What the fuck?
I American, George. I American pineapples. Wait, we don't make those. All right,
Black
no pineapples.
pineapples.
No pineapples for you.
You can eat pistachios.
um, yeah. Okay. So on the bright side, let's try to
And
conclude
I
on
know
something.
that, sorry, just a
Yeah.
second. I know the
Yeah.
Europeans, the rest of the world, the Canadians are like, they have the faint hope that, Trump is gonna pass. And almost 100% probability Trump is gonna pass. But this thing that Trump has created is not going away from the Republican psyche. Vance is gonna be even worse than Trump in terms of
For
ideology
sure.
if he gets in the White House. Tiger Carlson is right there riling up the troops. I don't know if he's going to attempt a run. Fucking Elon. There's a bunch of degenerate losers out there waiting to pick up the mantle who are going to be ideologically just as bad. Maybe slightly more stable, but the hard lines of the ideology are going to be just as bad as the great leader. So we're never going to be able to escape this. America, in my opinion, is heading that way, is already that way. What we're
Let,
gonna bet that the Democrats every 4 years are gonna
let me
fix things?
let me
Yes.
push back on that a little bit. Trump is a special kind of personality, right? Once Trump retires from politics, I don't see anyone in the Republican Party that can really fill that gap because Trump really has a persona around him, like an aura. He is the Republican Party at this point. Who's gonna lead the Republican Party? Ron DeSantis. I mean, the
No,
moment Trump steps out, you don't have a clear leader or a clear
no.
messenger even for that party. So
But there's
I'm
a lot of potential candidates, including his son.
I agree, but nobody quite as charismatic, I think, and nobody that the
No,
American people is so familiar with.
but then
Anyway,
he doesn't have to be that charismatic. For instance, the great line of Kim's. I don't know over the three of them who was the charismatic one. He doesn't have
look,
to. He has to be over a basic level. Yeah,
what
that's
I'm
it.
saying is Trump barely won elections. Like, so once you take the charismatic leader element out of it, it
It's
starts
just
becoming
that
much tighter.
my feelings are pretty. I'm pretty spooked by what is happening in the United States because I see them ideologically driven, getting directed increasingly against the rest of the world. I don't know if it veers off into a more isolationist direction and they just shut the fucking bridges and just keep to themselves, or if they become more aggressive, even more aggressive to us, and start attempting shit that Trump says. I doubt it, but it's a possibility, and it's a spooky one.
I don't think isolationism flies in this century, right? I mean, global economy, global communications, like saying I'm gonna do isolationism, especially when you are the world's sole superpower, it's kind of difficult to do. So I fear the second scenario you mentioned is more likely. But here's the positive spin, right? Finally, because they're such morons in the way they've handled all of this, finally the world sees them for who they are, right? As you mentioned, you've got Canadians moving away from their conservative party just because the US has gone so, I'm not going to call it conservative because that's not what they are. But the point being, like the emperor is finally naked, right? I mean, the rest of the world can finally see that this is where far right leads you, and it's not a place that has like a real philosophy or a real plan. It's just deport the immigrants, put tariffs. Like, what are you doing? So maybe that is the positive thing, George, that's gonna come
I think
out
it's
of all
going
of
to
this.
have some positive effects in the rest of the world. I don't know about the United States and the way it's. Yeah, I don't know, it depends on what happens to the Republican Party going forward after Trump.
Yeah,
There's many possibilities how that works out. For instance, there's Marjorie Taylor Greene, dude. That woman is literally insane, dude.
yeah.
What if
But I
she
mean,
becomes the president?
there's better situations out there. There's a
Definitely, there's
situation.
other possibilities. I mean, I
Yeah,
still have hope that the stupid, corrupt, incompetent Democrats at least are not going to be insane. But what are you going to do? Bet it on the Democrats every time in case
you
it
can't.
be,
The Democrats are just as bought as the Republicans are. They have no spine,
but they are not
and
insane. That's the
they're not
that's
insane.
the argument.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
literally the argument. And you
yeah.
prefer, the same people. At least,
Generally, unless
generally,
unless you do comedy, in which case,
he would be the best.
just to end all of this on a really
Let's
optimistic
end
note,
it. Yes.
don't worry. At least Trump made a fortune for himself through his shitcoin.
The era of shitcoins has begun.